Hey everyone! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Pearl, and this is where we talk about anything related to health, wellness, and mindset to help you improve your life and thrive. If you're passionate about health and wellness and want to know more about what you can do to improve that, please subscribe and stay tuned because I post videos all about this fun stuff. In today's video, I was supposed to be talking about kombucha and how to make it. I decided to backtrack and talk about plant-based health. I don't think I've ever talked about this on this channel, but my niche is now focusing on plant-based health and how to help women entrepreneurs improve their energy and their overall health so they can really show up in their businesses and for their clients. So that's something I'm very passionate about, and I recently switched over. I'm focused on building out a program for plant-based nutrition and health for people that are interested in transitioning or that are already plant-based but really want to make sure they're doing it correctly. So that's what I'm working on. I was really excited and it's on the topic. So I want to talk about plant-based health today and how to transition to a plant-based diet and my top tips for people that want to do this. There are a few things that come up when people want to transition. They're not sure what to do, not sure what to eat. And this would be a really good starting point if you're thinking of transitioning to being plant-based. So why plant-based? For me, I've been plant-based for about 3.5 years now, and my main reasonings were ethical reasons, financial reasons, and how I felt was a big one as well. But initially when I started, I didn't realize the effects and how amazing you could feel on this diet. So initially I did it for financial, ethical reasons, and then I felt amazing and I was like, oh my God, this is so awesome. And for me, I was never a big fan of eating meat anyway. So this was something that I really wanted to start incorporating more into my diet and lifestyle. Especially studying dietetics and nutrition, I really started learning about the benefits of our overall health and how to maintain our health and all that fun stuff. So it really got me interested in how we can be the healthiest versions of ourselves, how we can live the longest, how we can have the least amount of diseases, and how we can just be an overall healthy person and living a happy lifestyle. And through this, I realized for me and for many other people, eating plant-based is one of the main ways we can do that. Before we dive into my top tips on transitioning to a plant-based diet, I want to talk about the spectrum of being plant-based. There is a spectrum because not everyone who classifies themselves as plant-based is 100% vegan, and not everyone is vegetarian. There is a wide variety of people that choose to eat certain things but still consider themselves plant-based. For example, me personally, I'm about 90% plant-based because I still eat eggs. And the eggs I buy are organic, free range, and I try to buy the best eggs I can because I really believe in eating to get the nutrients that we really need. And eggs are one of the most nutrient-dense foods that we can be eating, so I don't want to cut that out because I also eat for overall health. And if I really want to look at my nutrient profile, I think it's important to include eggs because they have so many awesome nutrients in them. I also eat fish once in a while, about 2 times a month maybe, because I know I need those omega-3s, and I'm not totally opposed to eating fish if it's wild caught, ocean-wise, and more sustainable. I think there's a lot of wiggle room when it comes to being plant-based. There's no right or wrong. I believe if anyone wants to improve their health and eat more vegetables, that's a win. If people want to decrease their meat consumption, eat a little bit more veggies, and try to mix both, for me, that's a win. Now, what people classify themselves as plant-based is up to them. There's no judgment here at all. I just am always happy to have people eat more vegetables. That being said, if you're thinking of being plant-based, know that doesn't mean you have to be 100% vegan and cut out all these things. You can mold it in the way you want to and that works well for you and that is sustainable. Because remember, any health change that we want to make should be sustainable for the long term. So you don't want to overwhelm yourself too much at first. Now we're going to dive in on my top 3 tips for transitioning to a more plant-based diet. Tip number 1 would be to ensure you're getting enough protein. Now, this is not only for the plant-based people. Many people that aren't plant-based also don't get enough protein. So this is not just for the plant-based people, this is for everyone. Ensure that you're getting enough protein. This is probably the one macronutrient that's often missed in a lot of meals, or there's not enough of in meals. So it's very important to make sure we're getting a good source of protein with every meal and or snack. There is a wide range of protein sources that are plant-based, and they're quite versatile as well. So some of my favorites are edamame beans, tofu, lentils, other beans, black beans, pinto beans, all the beans, and nuts and seeds. If you have a good idea of how much you need of what and how you can incorporate it into your food without getting bored, that is definitely a good way to start. So making sure you're having some sort of protein in all your meals. One thing I want to note was also that there is tiny amounts of proteins in our vegetables and fruit. So even though you might not think you're getting enough protein from the protein sources, which you should be if you're eating the right amount, but also remember that the small amount of proteins in our vegetables and fruits also all add up to account for the protein that we're eating in the day. It is actually quite easy to get enough protein on a plant-based diet. It's just about knowing what you need to eat. Since I'm more active, I have a higher protein need, but I'm still able to get more than my protein needs throughout the day, which is great. So please don't get discouraged. It's definitely possible to get enough protein needs throughout your day. The second thing I want to talk about is to make sure you're getting enough micronutrients. Micronutrients are essential nutrients that really help our body function well throughout the day. The key nutrients that many people who are plant-based are missing are the ones that usually come from animal products. So the core ones are zinc, iron, and B12. Making sure we're getting a good source of these is definitely something we should all have at the top of our minds if we are trying to do more plant-based eating. Vitamin B12 is a little bit harder to get because it's not found naturally in any foods that are naturally made. So the main source of that for plant-based people is vitamin B12 in the form of nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast is a powdery yellow substance that has a really good amount of B12 and some protein in it as well. And it's quite versatile, and you'll hear a lot of people talk about using nutritional yeast in their cooking. Iron is one that's also of increased risk of being deficient for plant-based people, and especially women as well because of our menstrual cycles. Getting enough iron from plants is a little bit trickier because we need to ensure we're maximizing the absorption of iron by pairing it with a food that is rich in vitamin C. Iron is mostly found in our pulses and legumes, such as our beans, our lentils, and things of that nature. So pairing those foods with foods that are high in vitamin C, such as bell peppers, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, and strawberries, just to name a few, those can really increase the absorption of iron in our body. So we will be at a decreased risk of being deficient. Zinc is another one that we need to think about more often, and this one is easier to get because our needs are a little bit lower. But a great source of zinc would be nuts and seeds. So eating a variety of nuts and seeds is a great way to get a lot of those micronutrients into our diet. I'm a huge fan of nuts and seeds, and I probably eat them every day, multiple times a day. Not to mention, nuts are also a source of healthy fats and proteins as well. So if you're not eating nuts, I definitely think you should start getting on it. Unless you're allergic, of course, then there's other options that you'll have to look into. The third tip I have for transitioning to a more plant-based diet would be to ensure you have balanced meals. Now, this is because a lot of people feel more hungry when they're eating more plants. I believe this is because they don't have a balanced plate and don't have enough fiber, protein, or healthy fats to help keep them feeling full. I find a lot of people who start on their plant-based journey, they eat a lot of starch-heavy foods because that's one of the most popular ways of people going vegan or going more plant-based. It's the pastas and the rice and the veggies. Often I see people forget to have a more balanced plate that have adequate protein, healthy fats, and fiber. To prevent feeling hungry after your meal, you want to make sure you have at least half a plate full of vegetables. You want to have about a quarter plate full of protein, and the other quarter plate will be your starch or grains. So for example, you'd have half a plate of mixed vegetables, quarter of a plate would be tofu, and then the other quarter might be quinoa or rice or barley, just to give you a rough example of what that might look like. But also remembering you want to have a healthy fat in there to also improve the amount of time you're going to stay full for longer. That could be adding a healthy oil, eating some nuts and seeds on there, throwing hemp hearts, avocado, whatever you might like, but ensuring you have that fat mixed in because that also plays a key part in keeping us full. The other main component of feeling full is getting enough fiber in our diet. The suggestion of having about half a plate full of vegetables is a good indicator that you're getting enough fiber through those veggies. Most people aren't eating enough vegetables and thus aren't getting enough fiber into their diet to help them feel full. This is one of the key complaints of people that are transitioning and that they always feel hungry. Remember that you can always eat more vegetables, so if you are feeling hungry, try and eat more vegetables and remember the plate model that we just talked about. Those are my top 3 tips on how to transition to a plant-based diet successfully. To recap, it was to ensure you're getting enough protein, ensure you're getting enough micronutrients, the main ones being iron, zinc, and vitamin B12, and then to have a balanced meal so you don't feel full after every meal. If you incorporate these 3 things at the start of your journey, I think it's a great place to start and you're well on your way to eating more plant-based with more confidence that you're getting enough of the foods and hopefully not feeling hungry throughout the day. Because I know I hate feeling hungry, so I really don't want anyone else to be feeling hungry and feeling unsatisfied with their meals, which is very common. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you got some tips and tricks that you can add to your plant-based diet to make it a little more suitable for you and to release any worry that you might have had about not getting enough of the certain nutrients that you need. Now, I'd only mentioned those 3 tips, but there's so much more to do, and I really encourage you do some research or reach out to me, talk to other people who are also plant-based so you get all your bases covered. I believe those 3 are some of the most important ones to think about at first. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, comment below, let me know what you think. And next week, we're going to be talking about gut health. This is one of my favorite topics, and I'm super excited because it ties really well to plant-based eating. In the meantime, while you wait for that video, watch these 2 videos. I love talking about everything to do with health, mindset, nutrition, and wellness, so definitely stay tuned where I post videos every week about various topics. Until next week, hope you're staying healthy, eating well, eating more vegetables, feeling good and thriving. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.